Making It Work is brought to you by Wealthsimple, which gives everyone access to simple, affordable investing on cruise control.
How to become an adult. One day, suddenly realize that you are now older than your parents when they got married, older than your parents when they had a kid, maybe older than your parents when they had you even. Notice the ages come and go at which you had always told yourself that you would have various little boxes checked. See them fading behind you like road signs, and feel a mix of disappointment and empowerment. No, I'm not the person I promised myself. Yes, I actually like this person better. Wonder if you said a certain deadline out loud to too many people, if you had promised a family member or a friend that you would be absolutely, definitely a homeowner or a spouse or a parent by the time you were 20 whatever. Wonder if they still had that number in the back of their mind too, and watch it fade away behind you with a little twinge of judgment. Realize that you've had those little twinges of judgment before too, if only about yourself. Start to see certain friends much less, and a few select friends much, much more. Realize that the bubbly intoxication of having a broad friend group no longer has the same appeal to you, that maintaining even a few truly important relationships takes up nearly all the bandwidth you have and leaves you feeling much more satisfied anyway. Come to treasure long nights sharing a bottle of wine and a board of cheese, the people you feel free to change into pajamas with, the feeling of being truly seen and understood. Start to use the word love more platonically, with meaning and depth, not the fun but fleeting, I love you guys that used to tumble out of your mouth at bars. End long phone calls to friends with I love you. Start having long phone calls with friends, period, and treasure every bit of them like a warm, comforting meal. Think very, very seriously about getting a pet. Do extensive research, including much late-night Googling and heart-wrenching animal rescue video watching, and bring up the subject frequently with friends over lunches. Be really serious about it, but constantly teetering on the edge of, am I responsible enough? Or what about when I go away? Give yourself a million reasons why it shouldn't work, but eventually cave to the little voice that is constantly saying you should, in fact, get that pet. Because what you are really saying to yourself is, I deserve to give and receive unconditional love. Keep wondering when being an adult will happen, when you will reach that level of humble assuredness that your parents must have had when they had you, that uniquely adult optimism that allows us to put roots in this world and know that we are good enough to grow from them. Feel like you're missing some fundamental gene as the months and years tick by, and you often feel like no less of a kid. Walk into office meetings and dates and important events and feel like you're in a bar with a fake ID, a kid who's going to be discovered and unceremoniously kicked out. Wonder if anyone ever really feels grown up, if they believe that they deserve the things they have and the life they live. Wonder what that sensation would even be like, and imagine it's something like when you get into an ocean and it's just the temperature of your body, surrounded by something much bigger than yourself, but perfectly comfortable with your place in it. Except that you do not feel comfortable, at least not right now. Know that you are not quite there yet, that for whatever reasons, your generation has come with a lot more asterisks on it than your parents had planned for. For you, becoming an adult has been expensive, and finding your place in the professional world has been harder than any smiling college brochure would have led you to believe. You cannot find the assuredness to put down roots in many ways because you cannot afford them. And the idea of building something bigger than yourself is something you just can't visualize. Come to terms with the fact that the game you are playing is not the one you thought that you would be, that things will not look the way you wanted them to, and that part of happiness will be redefining what that white picket fence and the family Christmas photo mean to you. Maybe they look nothing like that, but whatever those elusive symbols of stability and fulfillment are, you'll have to find them on your own. Then, once you have done all of that, have an utterly boring average day where you realize something very, very big. This is all you. Realize that it is you who pays the bills, who gets the groceries, who remembers to call the friend and the dentist and the boss when you are sick with the flu. Realize that it is you who remembered to get the Vicks and the NyQuil for when this might happen, and you who pays for the monthly Netflix subscription so that you can have something comforting to watch while you lay in bed all day. Realize that you have taken tiny bits of a life here and there and put them together into a little machine that runs on its own, a story where you are the narrator and the protagonist, where you get to choose what you build. Sit there in the home you have made for yourself, as humble and imperfect as it may be, and realize that you have done something wonderful in the simplicity of that life. Realize that there is no capital A adult that you must ever become or likely ever will be, that growing up means taking care of yourself so that you can build, so that you can put more in than you take out, so that you can leave this world a tiny bit better than when you entered it. Remember that creating your warm, safe nest from which to work is the hardest part, and that life is not lived in giant leaps. Every day is a tiny little battle to be better, and most of the time, you are winning.
Part of being an adult is realizing the future isn't some fantasy version of your life, and it'll be here before you know it. With Wealthsimple, you can start planning for the life you want and the things in life you may never expect. Making It Work is brought to you by Wealthsimple, which gives everyone access to simple, affordable investing on cruise control. Wealthsimple is online investing that's as simple and human as it gets. In just 5 minutes, they'll build you a custom portfolio to fit your personal goals and timeline. Just answer a few easy questions and they'll manage your money for you on autopilot. Set it, forget it, and let your money grow in the background. You can turn on automatic deposits as well as set up a smart savings account with higher rates than big banks for your shorter-term goals, your wedding, your next great adventure, or that handbag you need. They also have a socially responsible portfolio that invests in green stocks and companies that support gender diversity. The fees are much lower than big banks, and TFD viewers will get their first $10,000 managed for free with no minimum deposit. Check them out at wealthsimple.com/TFD or use the link in our description. There are no account minimums, and it only takes a few minutes to start. No excuses.